Celtics Talk podcast is presented by 24autogroup.com. New England gets more at 24.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Chris?
What is up, Kayla?
Wow. There's a lot to get into tonight. That was fun.
This night could have been a real chore for us.
Could have been a real damper going into the weekend.
So to peel back the curtain, we often say whenever they schedule Celtics post up, and normally, not that we like hunt nights where we're pretty confident they're going to win, but I would say, especially a night like this, going up against the Brooklyn Nets, who scored 66 points in their last outing, the Celtics being the second best team in the Eastern Conference, I'm thinking, all right, I feel pretty good about the chances that we're going to have an upbeat episode of Celtics Post Up. Then we'll come in here, we'll record the pod, and we'll be just vibing.
And out.
And then Celtics kicked away a double-digit lead in the final 3 minutes of regulation. Probably should have lost the game in overtime, but if not for a 19-year-old savior with the best eyebrows in the league, Hugo Gonzalez, a late sub, Joe Mazzulla recognizing the defense, puts him in there, gets them to double overtime, and the Celtics find a way to escape with a strangely satisfying, despite the bumps in the road,
good choice of words,
win over the Nets. And I always say this, we say it all the time in golf, it's like there's no pictures on the scorecard. It doesn't matter how you get there. The fact of the matter is you win, And so will I remember in 2 weeks that the Celtics could not grab an defensive rebound to close out this game? Probably not. But I'll remember Ugo's, and I'll remember the joy. I'll remember everything Amari Williams did.
You'll remember it being 3 days prior to your other guy, Time Lord, coming into town.
Look, it's the perfect way to kick. This could be a really epic Forsberg weekend.
Oh, my God.
From Ugo tonight to, we'll see what happens tomorrow. And actually, as a Derrick Rose admirer, we'll get to that.
Yep.
And then Patriots on Sunday, and then Rob on Monday.
My God, you're going to do victory laps, hopefully, with that flag.
If it wasn't for the 8 feet of snow coming our way, then I would, then I'd really be vibing. Where do you want to start?
Wow. You know what? I'm going to just get this out of the way. I will start by saying anytime the Celtics play Brooklyn, I am done saying, oh, it's Brooklyn. Because for whatever reason, Brooklyn...
You say this every time.
I say it every time. We did an NBA Cup game. I was so hype on the concourse. We had all these people come. I'm like, oh, this is like,
But you do this with every inferior opponent now. You're always like, oh, in the Indy game.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with the stats. I don't care if they are 14th in the Eastern Conference standings. I don't care. Every team wants to get up to play the Celtics. I get it. So I don't care where the record shows anymore. It is what it is. I will say this. Where do I want to start? I mean, Sam Hauser getting going early. He has been phenomenal from downtown. Five threes tonight, I believe.
I believe so. Continuing
to be hot from downtown, and he's playing with the utmost confidence. But then, honestly, Ugo hitting that three, and then also, God, I'm going all over the map here.
I love it.
Two centers down. You have Ugo Garza, who had a great game, by the way. He was defensively great. That huge block that had me get up from my chair.
Into the third row.
Oh, my gosh. It was amazing. All the facial expressions from Luka Garza, rightfully so, warranted. From him to Nemish Queta getting fouled out. So then I'm like, all right, this is a problem. Who comes in? Amari Williams, who flew in 2 hours before commercial. He didn't even fly with the team. Flew in commercial because he had found out and heard that Nemi wasn't feeling that great. So he goes, okay, I'm going to get there. Emergency 2 hours before lands, goes to shoot around.
I need to know more details because presumably he would have been, I think Maine had a game today, and I don't know where they were playing. I think they were up there. Yeah. But I wonder if he either had to get there from Maine, which adds a layer of difficulty, or if he drove to Boston and got on a plane to New York.
Also, which airline was he? JetBlue, Delta, shout out, whatever.
I'm guessing, beggars can't be choosers in that moment.
No.
Look,
Eddie joked, being like, he's not going to fly commercial anymore after that. And not that he had a crazy game, but he just showed up in the minutes that they needed.
And imagine how tough it must be for a 7-foot person to get on a commercial flight.
Oh my God, you don't even probably get the comfort Delta Plus, the leg room. Who knows?
They probably book him a couple seats. But, the fact of the matter is it makes it all the more impressive what he did. I think it's a great place to start because, if you're digesting this game, Jaylen Brown has a triple-double. Payton Pritchard goes for 32. All the main characters had big moments in this game. But, if Amari doesn't come in and hold down the fort, thrown into a pressure cooker environment. Maybe the chief among it is they run this play that in afterward Payton was asked about it. They said, have you ever run that play with Amari? And he was like, probably not with Amari, but he's probably run it with the like third unit or whatever in practice. And it's essentially guy taking it out of bounds, heaves it all the way down the court. The center goes up and gets it and pitches it. We did see this, very similar to the James Harden play that almost cost the Celtics where they pitch it back. And defenses are not great at being prepared for this. And Payton actually had to wait for his defender to kind of fly by, set his feet. But they were down 5. Amari makes the pitch, and Payton knocks down the 3. And then,
and how many? By the way, there were what? I think it was like 2.4 seconds left. Was there more?
That was on the inbound to Ugo. I believe there was like 6 seconds left when they heaved it, and then they got that one off at like 4.9 or something like that. I'm gonna get those numbers wrong. But yeah, like essentially,
because I'm like, for him to do a catch in the air, for Amari to catch the ball in the air and then to dish it to Payton.
Think about it. They scored.
That's hard to do.
They scored 6 points in probably 6 seconds at the end of that game with a foul in between to get the opportunity. And by doing that play, they saved the timeout. They were able to advance the ball after the free throw miss. And like everything came together. And I do think from Amari being ready in that situation to Joe pushing all the right buttons, like it's not a given in that instance to go to Amari. They still have Tillman and Boucher that could have been dusted off. They tried to go small at first. They put Ugo and Shireman out there. But for Amari to be ready in that situation, think about this. Amari's first real Boston call-up was for the Detroit game, where, okay, go guard beef stew and all these, like, the most physical team in the league.
And he was solid.
Hasn't played a whole lot, but has been great in Maine. Like, I think he broke a bone in his hand at one point up in Maine.
Yeah.
Like, still playing through it, still grinding. Has got a couple of late-game trash time situations here, but now here you are in a game where you're just desperately trying to figure out a way. Oh, go make some magic happen, and he did. And like that is I am always impressed when people get thrown into a situation that they really can't prepare for, and he was 100% ready.
And it matters, like personally, Eddie talks about this all the time, being like, hey, we gotta, any player whether you're playing JB minutes, whether you're the leader of the team, starting and playing everything, or you're the Amari Williams, where you're getting called up from the G League, you don't know if your number's gonna get called, you fly on commercial, not knowing, like, am I even gonna step foot on the court here today? And then sure enough, your minutes matter, and that's tape for yourself. And it's those minutes that will get those G League. I mean, think about the Celtics, all the G League guys, like the Luke Cornets of the world, like these guys just coming up and now getting paid as starters. And I love seeing the kind of foundation of their play when it comes to guys like Amari, even Ugo. I'm going to just pass the rock back to you because I know we only have so much time, and you have to. For those of you listening, Chris, and don't see the video.
I'm getting my flag of Spain, courtesy of Abichin.
It's the perfect size too. The flag is the perfect size.
It's perfectly oversized, and like I love.
I need like a Kristen Juszczyk. She's Kyle Juszczyk's wife of the Chiefs, and she's really known for making jackets.
The clothes,
and
right?
I think I need to DM her, not that she would ever see my DMs, but to
get like a denim jacket with like
that would be fire.
Ugo bedazzled on the one side and then the flag on the back or something. I'm all for this.
Stay tuned.
Maybe his number on the back, 28 somewhere. I'm all for all of this. Look, it is no secret. I've loved what we've seen in the infancy of the Ugo experience. What I love tonight is, we got like same deal, right? Like he hasn't been getting a lot of consistent minutes, and I feel like, Joe's been great at pushing the button, so I don't like second guess it a whole lot. But he'll play for 5 minutes in a game or whatever, and then might not have a second stint or a short, doesn't get back into the fourth quarter. And I've been yearning for a little bit more Ugo. Well, tonight they sort of forced your hand because once all the centers fouled out, they needed energy and kind of make up for it with just hustle. So him and Shireman ended up playing some pretty healthy minutes. And even beyond the three-pointer that he makes, which is just absurd on its own, and we'll run through the scenario behind that. But, I mean, he had like 3 or 4 putbacks where he just I know he got fouled on one. He had another putback in probably the first overtime. He was just kind of everywhere doing Ugo stuff, being Hurricane Ugo. And I love watching. I got to be careful with that because, like, the Hurricane, my mom lives in South Carolina, and Hurricane Hugo, like legitimately cause like a ton of damage. I'm not trying to like make light of it.
Yeah.
But I like the name Hurricane Ugo, so we'll see how cautious I tread there. It's remarkable that yet again that a 19-year-old, like think about Brad Stevens' 2025 draft class right now is vibing.
Oh,
between
that part.
Amari and Ugo being this ready to contribute to regular season wins is really cool. And the three-pointer was just awesome because Joe recognized that Brooklyn was sort of in this, we're going to take away the three. That's the only thing we don't want to give up. Like if they want to go for a quick two, I don't know, although they would have never played that game at that point with the time left. They wanted to contest any three that was going up. And he pulled Amari, put Ugo out there, had him flash to the corner, and it turned out to be the only guy that was open. And so Baylor delivers it, and Ugo was just ready for it. And not like a comfortable, like think about it, you're fading to the corner, you got to kind of like catch a low ball and go up with it. And Sam Hauser crashing from the other side, put his hands up immediately. He's like, that is cash money off the double OT.
That's really hard too for the inbounder. Oh my God, I hated inbounding.
The pressure,
yeah. Put me in any other situation, but I'm like having those flashback moments to like when you're a point guard and Baylor is not the point, but you got to inbound the ball with that many seconds left, and you're like, okay, don't get it blocked. Make sure you're finding the right guy, and then you see Ugo, like to get it into the corner three. That's hard to do. Yeah. And you said it. Baylor was kind of leaning over like, someone get open.
So the very last second, I think, of course, and put yourself in Baylor's shoes. You're thinking, I need to get this ball to Jaylen Brown because they already messed up at the end of regulation trying to get a final shot. That pass goes nowhere, and Anthony Simons just has to huck it. Yeah. So now you're just like, all right, I got to get it to Jaylen. If I don't get it to Jaylen, I really need to get it to Payton. And if I don't get it to Payton, then I really need to get it to Sam Hauser. And you're probably thinking at that point, I'd rather throw it to like, who else can I throw the ball to at that point? And Ugo just happened to be streaking open. I don't know how the Nets kind of lost track of him, even though
they were sick too. If you replay that and watch everyone's faces, they're
so
like,
great. The bench reactions throughout the overtimes were like hilariously like they're trying not to like have the pain-staked face, but it has to be. So credit to everybody.
Can I throw you something?
Ooh,
I'm curious about this, and specifically from you because I feel like we've seen Joe draw up end of the game clutch quote unquote scenarios, and I've criticized. I've been like, I don't think that was the right one, or what was he thinking? I've seen the comments, I've seen the questioning, and we are no coach in the NBA. It is not easy to do, but people in general have been like, this guy doesn't draw up the right plays. Yeah. And then even if he didn't draw that quote unquote up, he still subbed in Ugo at that right time, and I just thought that that's like a big credit to him because he realized Amari was not the right guy for that moment, and sure enough, Ugo gets the ball and drills it.
I go back to it. There are some days where I'm just happy they get a good look because, and I think so much of it is a balance, right? Like Joe can draw up whatever you want. The players have to execute it. And if the inbounder goes the wrong way with it, if the inbounder feels the pressure of the 5 seconds and just kind of lobs it up there, to me, it's been more a fault of execution. If you look at the numbers from previous seasons, the Celtics have been some of the best ATO numbers in the league, which means whatever Joe's drawing up, even beyond the end of game stuff, like in a 6-minute timeout or whatever, they're usually coming out and scoring. Now this year there's been a propensity there, and I would say in the last month or so, there's been some maddening Celtics just throwing the ball away after ATOs, and it's been, again, some of that is it's the execution and the guys out there. I'm like, what are you doing? You're just being a little too sloppy. But the fact that they didn't get a good look at the end of the fourth quarter was frustrating. And so it was nice to see that a play with multiple options, even if Ugo was option 4, the ball eventually got there and he made the shot. Maybe if he misses it, we sit there and say, well, how did they not get the ball to Jaylen? So it's a razor thin probability there. But no, I think I think people are starting to appreciate more what Joe does and like how good he's been pushing buttons with keeping guys engaged, with getting everyone minutes, like all the stuff that coaches have to deal with and the personalities and all that. He hasn't had a lot of chance to show what he can do in those moments, and it's a lot easier when Jason Tatum's out there and you have another option to go with. But I feel good for Joe that the conversation, even if he admits all you're trying to do is put the right batch of people out there. It was nice to see them hit one. Having a vehicle you can rely on, that's important. That's why you can rely on 24 Auto Group. They will treat you like family. And that's because they are family owned and operated. They're honest, easy to work with, and they just get it. Whether you're looking for something sporty, something luxurious, or just a solid everyday ride, 24 Auto Group always comes through. With 9 brands and 11 locations across New England, there's something for everyone. And here's the best part. They've got the knack to save you more on a new or pre-owned vehicle, and the knack to pay you more for your trade, up to $2,400 over book value. You can even drive home with just $24 down. So if you want the best deal without the runaround, go see my guys at 24 Auto Group, because you always get more at 24. Online at 24autogroup.com.
Also, is this not a testament to how unique this group is? Like, the fact that they're second in the East, and then sure, like, yes, on paper you can talk about, okay, they shouldn't have gone into you're going into double overtime with Brooklyn. It's the NBA. The games like this is gonna, and you know what? I'm passionate right now, and it's like Kayla speaking to Kayla, because I have to remind myself that I'm like, oh, on paper, they should totally blow out
I'll remind you
this team.
tomorrow when you're like, oh, it's the playing
Can
Bulls.
Can you please? But this is why they're second in the East, because they do have, you don't know, and you don't know which guy is going to have his moment with the Celtics, and I think that's why opposing teams roll their eyes. Like, you saw the Nets at the end, see Ugo hit that 3, and they're like, you could imagine in that timeout, as the Nets are drawing up, hey, they're going to get it to JB. If they're not going to Jalen, we're going to cover him tight. It's going to be Payton. If not Payton, he's
and someone stay attached to Sam Hauser because he shoots 50%
and then they're like, hey, by the
way,
way, just get out to whoever, maybe Ugo, whoever, Amari.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, it's
Boom.
Ugo who drills it. And that's what makes the Celtics lethal. Like, they have different guys doing their role, whether it's Sam, who's been amazing in the month of January, and hopefully you can continue that into February. Derek White's not in here tonight.
But can I say this too? Like, Derek White's All-Star case got a huge boost tonight because getting into offense was a little bit difficult. Their defense wasn't as sharp. You missed which is crazy to say, but you missed the rim protection Derek White offers because he plays bigger than he is. And I mean, look, we all fixate on the numbers, and I was the first one to point out that his shooting splits have not been great in January.
Which is factual. It's not like you're just being biased
and
here.
It's more like historically, it just hasn't been great. But I do love that it's caused people to now come to his defense and be like, well, wait, he does more. We all know that. But on a night like this, it's further accentuated like how valuable Derek White is. Even as Jalen goes out there and does the triple-double stuff, even as Payton Pritchard has a big night, things just get a lot easier when Derek White is out there. So, yeah, you're right. Like, it's just so unique that the Celtics have so many different options. And I always go back to it. We came into the year saying, depth's going to be an issue. And, like, if you were missing a Derek or if you were missing a Jalen, you would think they would lose those games. They find a way.
Is there something, I don't know, I'm thinking of, like, okay, this, like, as exciting as this was, it was fun. Honestly, I didn't love going into overtime because selfishly we're like, okay, we're going to hit the 12 o'clock. We got post up. We're tired. But if it's going to go into OT and then double OT, let it be this way. This was really fun to watch. At the same time, I'm also the negative side.
However,
one Cammy. They went into double overtime with the Brooklyn Nets. What?
Yeah, they should have been there. Like, it is fair. And you know what the funny part is?
I won't dwell on it because
but you can even tell. Like, Joe comes to the podium and he's not super thrilled,
right?
Because he's mad that they even put themselves in that position, and he does the whole 15 to 20 possession thing after every game. But there was probably 20 to 30 possessions tonight where they'll go back, and whether it was the offensive rebounds they gave up or just some of the like maddening play that allowed them forced them to play catch up for most of the night. Think about it this way. Again, easy to forget because it was 5 hours ago. They were up 8-0 and missed like 2 quality 3-point looks that could have put them up pretty much 14-0.
They were up 10 with 3 minutes to go.
They're up 10 with 3 minutes to go. There's no reason you should even be messing around with a game like that. And yet, it's the NBA. Points go quickly. And if you're not laser focused and locked in, these things happen. So I think end result, I go back to it. I think the fact that you've got like a little bit of a feel-good win diminishes some of the bad that happens.
Yeah.
But if you go and do that tomorrow against the Bulls, you'll probably lose. And the Bulls game is now going to be tougher anyway because you've expended a lot of energy. Right. Although I think about that. And so you get Derek back tomorrow. You'll Payton just is like unfazable, so he'll be ready to play because he can play 40 minutes every night for the rest of his life, and
So
he'll be
loves
fine.
double overtime.
Nemi and Garza should be pretty good because they didn't play a ton of minutes tonight while fouling out. Anthony Simons, like, you still got guys that should have some gas in the tank. The one I think we do worry about is Jalen came out afterward and said he didn't have the same explosion. His hamstring, he said, has been a little tight, and Jalen's battled hamstrings throughout his career. And the fact that he said he couldn't kind of kick to that next gear and get past Claxton was frustrating for him. I wonder how they'll tread. Like, he's going to want to play. He's going to want to be out there.
Yeah.
He's good enough where even on tight hamstrings, he can go for a triple-double.
That's
which,
what's so funny.
Which
it's
is
like,
ridiculous on
holy
its
smokes.
own. But yeah, like, it's going to be these. But, I'll say this too. In the Mazzulla era, the Celtics have been great on the second night of back-to-backs.
True.
And they've always sort of found a way. And so a lot of these mental challenge games, they tend to rise to the occasion. The only thing conspiring against them is the Derrick Rose jersey retirement, which, is going to add a little energy to that building.
I think it's happening after the game.
It
right?
is,
Which
but
is-
like the whole night is built around it.
That's actually a bad setup for the Bulls. Like, why wouldn't you do it? Well,
Teams are doing this now because you can never time it. Like, halftime is just so quick.
yeah,
you don't want
that's true.
I remember when the Celtics retired KG's number, and like,
I'm
they
like, wow,
didn't-
can you imagine losing and being like, all right, we're gonna retire?
well, and I honestly, I think the Celtics lost the day KG's jersey got retired. It was someone
great.
interesting too, like Warriors or somebody like good, and it was a little disappointing they didn't get to the finish line of the win. And then you kind of forget immediately because it's like, oh, now it's all about KG.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a great value for the fans because now you're not tied to 14 minutes of halftime or whatever. You can go an hour and a half if you want to. Not that KG was ever going to stand there at the podium and talk that long. But Scal got to give his little
Spiel.
induction speech and then send it up. And it was great. So, yeah, I'd be interested. I just think there'll be a little while normally you go to a Bulls game and you're just like, yay, playing. Now it's like, oh, yeah, back when we were actually legitimate, we had an MVP candidate, and we're like
They'll
an
do a
interesting
video.
team.
They'll
Yeah,
get the
like,
hype of the crowd.
yeah,
Yeah, there
like,
could be a lot of.
I think
noise.
every time out, like usually what it goes is every time out during one of these nights is themed towards the player. So
Yeah.
there'll be some energy in that building.
Show
Celtics
some
gonna
of
have
the
to.
Last Dance
Celtics gonna have to
maybe.
manufacture some energy, and we're gonna have to manufacture some energy. I'm gonna get you out of here. You got a busy morning.
Nah,
so
it's okay.
That's
It's
yeah.
okay.
It
At
is okay.
At least the Celtics won. What a big week! What a big weekend for you. I'm actually happy for you.
I
Chris.
appreciate
this is your
it. I
podcast.
appreciate it.
I'm gonna shout you out because the Celtics.
We are. I'll be back here tomorrow night with Giles,
Okay.
and we are going to talk. We'll be able to look ahead further than this Bulls game, maybe to Monday, when after shoveling the 8 feet of snow that is going to fall, and going through all my
don't even have a
milk and
garage to
bread
park
and
the car
toilet
in.
paper in the house. I will be potentially seeing Robert Williams in Boston, but we'll see. We're not going to get too far ahead. Right now,
You'll
we're going
be
to
so
live in the
happy.
moment, savor
I'm
this
so
victory.
excited for your moment.
I need everybody to go go subscribe.
Tonight it's Ugo.
Go check us out on the YouTube page. I'm going to
it's
go wave
Tyler.
my flag all over
Yes,
Boston.
yes.
We'll catch you
You
next
deserve
time
this.
on the Celtics Talk podcast.